Hey, 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 friends! Welcome back to the Purpose Box. I am Chantal, your host, and today I wanted to talk about something that will test every entrepreneur at some time, and that is what do you really believe about yourself when investing in your growth feels irresponsible? Not just uncomfortable, but reckless, and may I say it, even foolish. I'm going to share the scariest investment I've ever made in myself. And I hope you listen not just for the story, but for the deeper question behind it. And that is, what reality are you committed to? I don't know about you, but it's easy to tell yourself you trust God when your needs are being met and your bills are being paid. But what happened during the gaps? I believe that real trust gets proven in the in between. In the year 2021, when COVID was rampant and we were all mandated to stay inside, a lot of online businesses were, growing and being birthed during that era. My business was generating some income at the time, and from the outside, it looked like momentum. But inside, I was literally holding my breath, right? And so, you can have a full client roster and still live terrified it could all slip away tomorrow. And when you carry that fear long enough, you start mistaking familiar survival for stability. So it was during that moment that I came across a marketing program, but there was this one big, wall, and that was the cost of it was 5 figures. However, something in me knew this is either going to be the catalyst that grows you or the confirmation that you never really believed in yourself to begin with. And so, that moment I'm talking about. When the cursor hovers over the Pay Now button and you're hyper aware that once you click it, you can't unclick. Honestly, during that moment or that point, I didn't feel brave. I actually felt exposed. I felt like I was putting my future on the line. But here's what I realized as I sat there with my heart beating out of my chest. I had already been investing, just in the wrong things. I'd invested in smallness. I'd invested in hesitation. I'd invested in the story that if I stayed cautious, maybe nothing bad would happen. But the price of that story was my potential. And in that moment, I had to decide which price I was willing to keep paying. And so I remember that point like it was yesterday. I was at the brink of thinking, should I keep trying to grow this business or should I just get a job? And so when was faced with this new program that looked very promising, um, I hesitated pretty much. So after paying for it, I didn't feel relief. I literally felt panic. I thought to myself, what if that was the last good year? What, where am I going to get money to pay for my rent this month? What if what I experienced to in my business up to this point was a peak? What if I just paid thousands of dollars for proof that I'm not good enough? And that's a part that no one tells you about. Sometimes investing is less about the money and more about grieving the identity you're leaving behind. Because the old version of me thrived on just enoughness, on playing it safe, on rationing belief like it was a finite resource. And stepping into expansion meant I had to let go of a part of me that thought smallness was security. And so, what happened after I said yes? I would have to say nothing magical happened overnight, right? I did feel proud, I did feel hopeful, right? But here's the thing, the person who showed up for the first call was already different. Because when you make a decision that costs you something, when you pay a price that makes your hand shake and you will not show up the same. I stopped waiting for permission to act like I was qualified. I stopped apologizing for taking up space. I stopped treating abundance like something reserved for other people. And the fruit of that decision wasn't just more income, though a lot came with that. It was the first time I felt like a steward of my own vision instead of a prisoner of my limitations. And so, looking back, I can see that moment was never about marketing, it was about alignment, you know, because your business will always reflect what you believe you deserve. If you believe your value is conditional, your results will be too. If you believe money is scarce, you'll spend your life hoarding what little comes your way. But if you decide you're called to create impact and you commit to resourcing that call, your environment will start to match your convictions. I'm beginning to think that most people don't fail because they lack strategy. They fail because they never invest in becoming the person their vision requires. So here's a question I would like to leave with you all today. What's the price you're paying to stay small? Is it really safer to ration your growth, to drip feed your potential, to second guess your assignment, than it is to bet on the fact you were made for more? See, friends, at some point, the cost of not trusting yourself becomes greater than any dollar amount you spend. If you're standing on the edge, trying to decide if you can afford to believe, maybe the better question is this: can you afford not to? Right? And so I want to thank you all for being here. If this starts something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Send me a message, share your story, because you're not alone on this path. Until next time.